Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You are knowing what you are wanting. You are enjoying this leading edge environment which causes you to focus your own personal preferences. It is delicious to feel them formulate within you and the subsequent energy that actualizes around them. You are beginning to feel the life-giving qualities of contrast. From your broader non-physical perspective, you saw the environment in which you were then about to be specifically focused in this body as ideal, because you knew that the variety that would surround you would help you to develop through trial and error, through exposure to experiences, your personal preferences. You knew that your own experience would give you preferences. There is a big difference between a preference or a desire that is naturally born out of your own personal experience and an opinion or belief that you might pick up just because those who surround you have those opinions and beliefs. But whatever you are giving your attention to does cause an activation of a vibration within you. And if you give your attention to it long enough, that activated vibration will become a dominant activated vibration, so much so that things will begin to actualize or manifest around it. So it's easy for you to be swept up into the opinions or beliefs of those who surround you, because when they've made up their mind about something and they continue to profess it to you, so you continue to give your attention to it, so you continue to activate it in your vibration, then law of attraction causes you to make that a reality in your own experience. And you say, well, yes, it was easy for me to believe that because it's true. I'm proving it out in my own experience. But what we would like to point out to you is that anything you give your attention to, you will prove out in your own experience. In other words, you will make anything that you activate in your experience long enough true. So when you say, I believe I should go along with this, or I should give this my attention because after all it is true, we say, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would use something other than the truth of it or the manifestation of it in some form as your criteria for focusing on it. We would be picky. We would choose to focus upon those true things that feel good when we focus upon them. Because whatever you focus upon, if you do it long enough, you will make it your truth. It will manifest into your experience. Law of attraction says that it must. In fact, law of attraction, which says that which is likened to itself is drawn, is the reason that when you set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m., you hear what's being broadcast on that frequency. It's the reason that when you set your radio dial at 6:30 a.m., you don't hear what's being broadcast on 98 FM. The frequencies have to match up. And so when you are giving your attention to something and you do it long enough, you train yourself into the frequency of it. And as you do that, law of attraction then brings you more things that match that frequency. Diseases that match that frequency. Abundance or lack of it that matches that frequency. People, driving conditions, even mechanical things will acquiesce to the frequency that you've got going about mechanical things. You ever heard anyone say, I have a green thumb, I'm good with plants? They've adjusted their frequency. They're sensitive to what the plant needs and willing to give it to it. And so you are vibrational beings. Have we convinced you of that yet? We'll go after it. We will continue to try because you are vibrational beings first and foremost. And everything that you see in your knock on wood, oh, it is wood, real life physical experience, everything that you see around you that you call the real stuff of your physical reality is just your ability to interpret it through your vibrational indicators or predictors or interpreters. Your eyes interpret vibration, and that's why you see. Your ears interpret vibration, and that's why you hear. Your nose interprets vibration, that's why you smell. Your fingertips, your tongue, all vibrational interpreters. And you were born with what we consider to be the most magnificent vibrational interpreter of all, which is your emotional center, your emotional guidance system. You feel it in your solar plexus, but what it really is a sensor of vibration that is being held within you in any point in time. We're going to talk today about how that guidance system works. We want you to understand how it works so that you can understand how well it works and so that you can begin utilizing it more effectively. Jerry and Esther have in their vehicles a navigational guidance system that at all times knows where they are. There are satellites in the sky, a few of them, and there is an antenna on the roof of their vehicles, and the satellites in combination with the computer in the vehicle knows where they are at all times. And then they program in to the system their destination. And immediately, the system begins to calculate the only two relevant factors: where they are and where they want to be. And then it establishes a route from one place to the other. We want to call your attention to the relativity or relationship between where they are and where they want to be, because it is essential to your understanding of your own guidance system. So Magellan tells them a suggested route. And when they follow the route that Magellan has suggested, Magellan just keeps giving them verbal and visual guidance. But if they deviate from that route, Magellan will say, please return to the highlighted route. Please return to the highlighted route. Please return to the highlighted route. She doesn't get louder, but she is persistent. It is a woman's voice. The man's voice was too bossy. Please return to the highlighted route. Please return to the highlighted route. Please return to the highlighted route. Sometimes Jerry will say, shut that broad up. I've decided to go this way and I know she doesn't like it. Too bad. The relationship between where they are and where they want to be is the basis of that guidance. So here you are in your physical experience, standing where you are. It may be with a disease you don't want. It may be with a relationship you do want. It may be with less money than you want. It's rarely with more money than you want. Wherever you are is where you are, and your emotional guidance system is factoring that in as one of the factors in this vibrational relativity that we're going to be talking about here today. Now, you are extensions of source energy. Do you know that? You're in this body, but you are extensions of source energy. You are vibrational extensions of pure positive energy, of God force, if you will. So as you are extensions of this source energy and your environment causes you to launch a preference, we like to call it a rocket of desire. As something that you desire is born out of your exposure to your experience, this rocket of desire emanates from you. And in the moment of that preference being born within you, the non-physical part of you joins that rocket. Now, you have not heard this from us in this clear way before. And it is essential for you to get this point in relationship to ever understanding how your emotional guidance system works and the emotional or vibrational relativity between where you are and where you want to be. Your source follows your rocket of desire. We have written a book, and the book is called Ask and It Is Given. Because there is no notion that is more important for you to understand as the basis of your experience than that. Your contrast gives you desire, and your desire is answered by source immediately, every single time. No exceptions. And that's what we mean by that. When you're contrasting experience, when someone is rude to you and you want to be treated nicer, a rocket of desire emanates from you, and your source rides that rocket and becomes immediately at one with your preference. When you're sick and you want to be well, a rocket emanates from you, and your source immediately joins that rocket. In other words, source answers your desire immediately. But often with you, there is a vibrational difference between where you are right now with not enough money, or with a disease, or with a foot that's hurting, or with somebody that doesn't love you, your action journey where you are right now. Often there is a discrepancy, a vibrational variance between where you are and where you now want to be. And how did you now discover or discern where you want to be. The variety of your experience helped you to focus it out. And as you launched the rocket, we call that your asking, Source answered it immediately and became one with your rocket. So now there are two vibrations within you that you can discern the relativity between them. Are you getting the sense of this? As Jerry and Esther are traveling from Phoenix to San Diego, they want to be in San Diego. They can hardly wait to get there. It's 70 degrees and sunny in San Diego, always in the time that they go. All of their favorite restaurants are there. Their favorite place that they put their monster buses there. They can hardly wait to get there. And so as they are traveling across the desert, 400 miles, for most of those 400 miles, they're not where they want to be. But they do not lose heart because their journey is understandable. They know it's 400 miles from Phoenix to San Diego. They know they got to go west. They know if they keep a reasonable speed and keep on going that they're going to get there. So they don't get to the 200-mile marker or thereabouts in Yuma and get all discouraged because they're not yet in San Diego and get disoriented and turn around and go back to Phoenix. They get this journey. It's easy to know where you are when you've got maps and road signs and a directional compass and a navigational system. In other words, that journey is understandable. So even though plenty of miles pass before they're at the place they want to be, they're happy along the way because they know they're getting to where they want to be. We see you sometimes in your Phoenix in relationship to this analogy of not enough money, or someone who doesn't love you, or a body that's hurting, or been diagnosed as sick. And we see you well along your way to recovery, well along your way to wellness. But then somewhere along the way you get discouraged and you stop and take score and you say, I'm not there yet. And you turn right around and go back to Phoenix. Because the journey between not enough money and enough money, or a body that's sick and a body that's well, is not as understandable to most of you. And yet, it should be and it can be if you get the vibrational relativity between how you feel and how you want to feel, or where you are and where you want to be. So, if your source has joined you in your idea of this thing you want, and if you are beating the drum of the absence of it, you're going to feel the vibrational discord. That's what negative emotion is. When you really want something and you're really thinking about having it, that passion you feel, that enthusiasm you feel, means that you and your inner being and your desire are all in vibrational alignment, and you are well along your way to it. But you know what trips you up? 99 plus, more than 99%, 99.999999% of every creation is complete before you see any physical evidence of it. So you are often well along your way to what you want, but then you stop and look for the physical evidence which hasn't appeared yet, and then you count yourself as a failure, or you begin to feel that discouragement, or you beat the drum of where is it? I've been at this long enough. How come I don't have it? How come they've got it? How come I'm suffering in the absence of what I want for so long? And you turn right around, you focus upon the opposite of what you want, and the more you do that, the worse you feel, and the worse you feel, the more you do that. In other words, you do it because you have not yet come into vibrational awareness of your emotional guidance system. So you're not quantifying your journeys. And you gotta quantify your journeys. You just gotta come back around to what you knew when you were born, is that if you're feeling good, you're on your path. And if you're not feeling good, please return to the highlighted route. Please return to the highlighted route. Well, how do I know what the highlighted route is? It feels good over there. The highlighted route feels good. It feels like interest. It feels like anticipation. It feels like appreciation. It feels good. It feels like love. It feels like enthusiasm. It feels like passion. How do I know when I'm not on the highlighted route? How do I know when I'm choosing to beat the drum of something and activate a vibration within me that's different from my desire and from my source that is in partnership with my desire? I don't feel good. I feel ornery. I feel irritated. I feel fearful. I feel angry. I feel discouraged. I feel depressed. Negative emotion always means the same thing.